junk.
Questions.
Hey, welcome to the Micheaux Mission. 2 men, 1 podcast, every black film ever made. My name is Len, aka the Bat Tribble. And as always, I am joined by my partner.
Hey, this is Vincent Williams.
Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, do not adjust your sets. Yes, we are once again reviewing the classic romantic comedy from 1999 that is known as The Best Man. And this time, in this YouTube premiere of our review, we are blessed to be joined by a great friend of the show, the co-founder, founder.
I was about to say, nobody was there with her.
Nobody was there.
Watch all that.
It was just her and her shadow.
I was thinking, it's her and Jesus.
The founder of the BlackStar Film Festival, and one of those dulcet tones you heard on the Class of 1989 podcast series. It is our friend, Maori Holmes.
Hi.
Hey, Maori.
Hi.
Hey, Maori.
Good to have you back.
Thank you for having me.
This is the 3rd time.
It might be.
I think it might be the 4th.
Yeah.
Is it the 4th?
I think it might be the
think
4th
so.
time. You may already be.
I was about to say, we got to do
The
like Saturday Night Live.
Gotta do a
and
jacket.
Get her a blazer or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
All right.
well, there you go. All right. Well, we'll have it on the 5th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is the rule.
That is the rule. The 5th one is all yours. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be reviewing The Best Man tonight as we stream live to YouTube and Facebook from Yunk Junk right here in Manayunk. And shout out to everyone out there in the chat. Deborah Battle, Aaron Fry, Robert Monroe, Blue Girl 718. I see you all out there. Hello, hello, hello.
Good
Huzzah.
evening, one and all.
All right. We are going to have a whole lot of fun and talking to Maori about The Best Man and about the BlackStar Film Festival,
Absolutely.
ladies and gentlemen,
Absolutely.
which is coming to Philadelphia in 3 weeks, August 2nd through the 6th here in Philadelphia. The BlackStar Film Festival, which I'm going to go out on a limb. Maori won't say this, but me and Vince, we've done the tally. This is the best film festival in America, hands down. Hands down. You know, you got your Tribeca. Yeah, Tribeca. Get that out of here. Get that out of here. And it's cold. It's cold up in in Colorado.
Yeah, Sundance.
Sundance is way on out of here. But BlackStar just keep on giving. It keeps on giving and giving and giving and giving.
Yeah.
And that is all because of you.
And all jokes aside,
Thank
we are big fans.
Thank you.
Like, we are big fans of the BlackStar Film Festival.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So how BlackStar? This is what year?
This is number 12.
Number 12.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Jesus.
Yeah.
Man, did you think when you started this so long ago that you would still be here and it'd be thriving and big as it is now, 12 years later?
No.
No.
I had no idea. I mean, the first time I did it, I thought it was just once. Thought it was one and done.
Really?
So every year was a surprise that we were able to, the first 9 years, it was raising the money from 0 to 100 every single year. So I did not know that we would be in this place.
Oh man! Now, if I can ask you, was there a moment in this gestation as BlackStar is going on? Was there a moment that you think back on now? It's like this was it. This was the moment where it took the turn and it became a thing.
Well, it became a thing the first year.
That's true.
To even do it again, it was because people were knocking down the door, like, when is the next one? And we had so many people come out to that first one. People came from Germany. They came from, other cities. Like, it was like people were really serious. And Ebony called us the Black Sundance in year 1. So it really took off, and it was just, that was a shock. And then it continued to be shocks every year after.
You know what? That's very apt, like the Black Sundance, because it's not just, if you're Black, all ones are welcome. You're very curated about how you put this together, right?
Yeah, we are. That's been, I started the festival wanting to have a space to curate myself as a curatorial project. I no longer program the festival, but that was the impetus for beginning it. And we definitely have a very, very strong curatorial hand. We initially started out making the festival for Black people from the African diaspora, and then we expanded to include people of the global majority. So we often say Black, Brown, and Indigenous, or if you have to say BIPOC, although we don't really like that, that is who the festival represents. But we're not just about representation. We're really interested in getting at form and how form can be basically like just torn apart, Think about the conversations that we've had with some filmmakers, Khalil Joseph, Terrence Nance, Arthur Jafa, Jatavia Gary, like people who are thinking about film the way we do jazz, you know? And you think about the moves that people of color have made in music or in sports, and we haven't done that yet in film. Largely because it's so expensive, you know? So it's challenging to be risky with such an expensive medium. But there's a lot of room to push up against the form.
I guess like the experimentation more recently has been just because of the equipment as opposed to like the art form
Right. It
itself,
seems like
right?
things are a bit more democratized, just with cost.
Well, no.
Really?
I mean, democratized is such a tricky word because even if you get the film made, who sees it?
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
And
So now audience is part of.
Yeah, the marketing and the tools that the big companies have, they still dominate.
Okay.
And streamers, now dominate with the kinds of contracts that they offer. And, it is not a level playing field, but people can experiment. I mean, our phones can make a high quality film.
Right.
You can shoot in 4K. And so you definitely can make a film very differently than like when I started grad school in 2001, and like had 500 gigabytes, on something the size of the side of the chair.
And there's been at least one film at BlackStar that was filmed on an iPhone.
Yeah.
I remember, was that a couple of years ago?
I don't remember.
When Dorian was in?
Oh, right. Yeah.
So,
Oh, wow.
so this year, what are the big highlights? What are the big...
all the films.
Okay. Can't pick a favorite child.
Well, I produced a film that I'm excited about
Okay.
that got into the festival. No
preferential treatment.
Not
no
at all.
preferential. No, really.
Yeah, well, tell us about it.
It's a short film called The Difference Between Us, directed by Imran Siddiqui, who also works at BlackStar. So, again, no preferential treatment.
No, produced by the founder.
Neither one of us is on the program committee.
Okay.
And it is a very rigorous process.
Okay.
And so that film I'm really excited about.
Okay.
There are so many. I haven't seen a lot of them still, to be honest.
Okay.
And but
That's got to be cool.
it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's like your first well, not your first, but you know what I mean.
This is my third not programming.
Yeah, so you get to go with the rest of us.
Well, there's still work that I'm doing.
Okay.
I spend most of my days shaking, hands and kissing babies. So
Okay.
I'm still trying to. I got to raise money for next year.
It's better than kissing hands and shaking babies. So.
This is true. But yeah, I'm excited. We have our lab films in our second year of our Philadelphia Filmmaker Lab.
Yeah.
So those 3 films will be in the festival. We have, some docs and some narrative works. We have Jatavia Gary's film, which is the name of it, I can't remember, but I'm excited to have that. We have Beth Ann Hardison and Lisa Cortez's documentary about Beth Ann, which is really exciting. But yeah.
Wow. Now the lab films, are they done down at like, what makes a lab film? Is this just like how it's made, or is it something totally different?
So for the last 2 years, this is just our second cohort. We have a year-round fellowship where Philadelphia-based filmmakers are partnered with a producer, and then they get a supervising producer, and then they get crew, they get a budget, and they make a short film.
Wow.
And the first year we brought on paid producers. This year we also had a producing track. So we had directing fellows and producing fellows.
That's smart.
And they go through classes and training and script development. And then they all shoot their films usually in the spring then they go into post, and then we also walk them through distribution. So they premiere at the festival, and then they go on to festivals afterward. So in the first year, one of the films actually went on to Sundance after BlackStar, and then went on to some other festivals. Nice. And that director actually now also works at BlackStar. We keep it real close, you know?
Look. That's how you do it.
That's what you do.
Oh, I didn't know you could train to be a producer.
Yeah.
That's interesting because that's cool because like there's really no school about how to be like a film producer.
Right.
I mean, there are programs to. I think Drexel even has a producing track, and there's a really well-renowned graduate program at USC, the Peter Stark program. I used to want to be in it. And I think NYU, like there are producing programs, but they aren't popular. People don't know about them. I think the people often, you produce by doing.
Yeah.
And that is true. I often say you can't train a producer. They're born. Mm-hmm. But I do think that there are things to learn, right? If you have the acumen.
Yes.
In the room, people can't see, but my friend Katie is here. And Katie and I started working on something, and Katie had not ever worked in film. And then she produced our first series of BlackStar Live. And it was like Katie's a natural born producer. There are things for her to learn, but the personality and the disposition, I feel like you're born with. Okay. So yeah, the people in our program, most of them have experience producing, but they wanted more, and they wanted, it's nothing like not having to raise money and then to like focus on making the film happen.
Right. Very nice, very nice.
I still feel like you should have like every festival should have like Maori's pick. Like you should just be making one movie, like putting your stamp on it. Because you're Queen BlackStar. You should.
Okay. We'll make that happen.
We'll make that so, Katie. Oh, Katie, make that so. Make that so, Katie.
I'll talk to the right people.
All right.
Queen BlackStar should totally be your Twitter handle too.
It should be on Threads.
Right. All right.
On Threads.
Look.
Do we have to go on Threads?
Hey man.
You do. Kim Kardashian and Oprah are there. It's a wrap. It's Threads. I mean, it's done.
See, she's also done. Anticipating questions. Who all gonna be there?
It's not Spill. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I can't get an invite.
You don't want one.
Oh, dang.
No, I'm just kidding.
All right. You got an invite?
I do.
Can you send me an invite?
I'll text it to you.
I did last week. I was like, damn, am I not black? How come I don't got an invite? All the cool kids got invites. So that was like in the 10th grade. Like, how's it a cool party? Like, I know about it, but I can't get an invite.
No, come on, Vincent.
So BlackStar Film Festival. Very nice.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you for taking the time.
Absolutely.
And the run up to this is, like I said, it's 3 weeks away, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
August 2nd through the 6th. They can go to BlackStar.
BlackStarFest.org is our website, and then all of our social handles is at BlackStarFest.
There you go. Look it up. Tickets are on sale right now. You can get the whole program laid out.
Oh, the other thing to share, I apologize. The festival is going to be brand new this year because we're no longer in University City, which is where we've been for the last 11 festivals.
That's right.
We are at the Kimmel Center and at Suzanne Roberts Theater and Lightbox at University of the Arts. So it is BlackStar on Broad is the hashtag.
Okay.
Our new hotel is a partner as the W, so it's BlackStar Jefferson style. We moved on up.
Oh my goodness.
Right.
Oh man. I want to invite the BlackStar.
There you go. Very nice.
Well, another thing I'm excited about is that the Micheaux Mission is going to be at BlackStar.
We are. It's true.
There is a rumor that we will.
And then how will we be there? What else is going on that we are?
Yeah, so a new element of the festival that we developed during the pandemic was a talk show called The Daily John. It was originally called BlackStar Live, then it transferred to The Daily John because Queen BlackStar would like to be the Oprah of millennials. That is my goal. Sure. And
she's owning that, right?
Look, man.
I'm clear.
Barely you can't do right.
I am clear. If anyone's out there watching that can make that happen, give me a call.
Manifest it.
And so we had been practicing with this talk show element, but it was partly to create some camaraderie between the audience, the virtual audience, and us. And so the first year, our hosts were all in their individual homes, and we created a Brady Bunch window and we, did the show. The second year, there was no audience. And then last year, we had an audience. And people really loved the show. This year, in solidarity with the writer's strike, we're not having a scripted show. Mm-hmm. So instead, we've decided to create a stage of talks and panels. So our panels will take place in the same place as the talks. And then one of our hosts has her own podcast, and she had the really great recommendation to have, her podcast be one of the hosts. And then I was just like, well, let's just open it up. I have a podcast. Y'all have a podcast. And so on the Daily John stage, which is what it's called, there will be a series of talks with filmmakers and special guests at the festival so that people get an opportunity to meet them kind of one-on-one. Mm-hmm. And then there will be panels. And then each day, a single podcast will record an episode.
Oh, dope.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is dope. It is dope.
And we were honored to be one of them.
Yeah.
Indeed.
We're honored to have you.
Yes. And you dropped it, you kind of like snuck it in there, but Maori does host her own podcast, Many Lumens.
Many Lumens.
Yeah.
Which is a very cool podcast. You are a very good interviewer.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, good conversations. I'm like, I'm not adult enough for these conversations. This is. I'm like, what was that word?
What's that word?
Dude, I'm saying, man, look, they be breaking it down. They be breaking the vocabulary that I am just not ready for.
Right,
I have to have a thesaurus out when I talk to Maori. That's how it is. But thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
To talk the best man
Thank you.
with us. Before we get into the best man, ladies and gentlemen, we are, as always, going to get into our features. We're going to do things a little differently tonight, however. One of our features is the top 5, where I give a list to Vincent and he gives us his commentary on my list. And I do have a top 5 for tonight that is definitely in theme with the best man, but I'm going to save that for the end of the show.
Okay.
For tonight. Okay. So that means that we will now go into our other regular feature. And that would be 6 Degrees of D'Urville Martin.
It's the key. Like, you would be surprised what a person can do with just a sense of
This kind of
sense of
They were very big on telling us that they wanted theme music. Theme music for the features. Yes. 6 Degrees of D'Urville Martin, ladies and gentlemen, where I will have 2 actors. I will give Vincent them one by one, and he will connect them in 6 movies or less to that 70s best man, D'Urville
Film
Martin.
Festival.
Yeah,
He was a one-man film
Well,
festival.
he pretty much was. Mm-hmm. You really could just go the whole gamut.
Have a D'Urville Martin Film Festival.
You could. Are you familiar with D'Urville Martin?
No.
D'Urville.
I always love when guests are so fast to say, I have no idea who this is.
I was not warned of this.
No one told me. No one expects D'Urville.
No one's looking for
No one
D'Urville.
expects D'Urville.
D'Urville Martin is, did you see Dolomite Is My Name? With Eddie Murphy.
Yes.
On Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
He's the character that Wesley Snipes plays.
Okay.
He was an actual actor.
Right, a character actor all throughout the 70s.
All the 70s, and you blink, and he's literally in almost every other blaxploitation movie.
Okay.
And
yet-
directed Dolomite.
Oh, wow.
He directed Dolomite, and yet he was so ubiquitous of a character actor that not only does he show up in films such as the blaxploitation films, he also shows up in Guess Who's Coming to Dinner
And The
wow.
Exorcist.
and The Exorcist.
No,
Wow.
not The
Exorcist.
Exorcist. Rosemary's Baby.
Wow.
Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah, I can get my devil stuff mixed up.
Yeah. so you could connect him
Right.
to the world,
Wow.
as Vincent will show
Yes.
tonight.
Hopefully.
6 degrees.
Six
degrees.
degrees. 6 films or less.
Okay.
Okay.
So Vincent,
Yes.
are you ready?
I am ready.
Now, trying to keep this in theme,
Thematic.
but I thought it would be too easy if I chose any of the actors from The Best Man,
True.
many of whom we've already done.
Yes.
So, what I thought of, if we were to do The Best Man today,
A modern best man.
these are 2 actors who I think would be cast in a Best Man redo.
Okay.
So, number 1,
Number 1,
in 6 films or less, connect D'Urville Martin
2,
Jay Ellis.
Jay Ellis. Okay, well, this is how you get to Jay Ellis. Derville Martin is in the final come down with Billy D. Williams.
Yes, he is.
Billy D. Williams is in, let's say Lady Sings the Blues with Richard Pryor.
Let's say that.
Richard Pryor is in Harlem Nights with Eddie Murphy.
Very good.
Eddie Murphy is in, oh, you know what? I might run out going that way.
I was wondering, like,
I'm going to go run out going out. Okay, so let me go back. Deborah Martin is, of course, in Five on the Black Hand Side with Dick Anthony Williams. Dick Anthony Williams is with Samuel Jackson in Mo Better Blues, who's in
He's not an easy one to get to.
He's not, because Jay Ellis is in the new Top Gun. And then Jay Ellis is also in...
I would think Top Gun is probably your easiest bet, though.
Right. So really I got to get to Tom Cruise or what's the white boy's name with the mustache?
The white boy's name.
Goose's son.
I can't think of it. That's not who I'm thinking you need to get to.
Well, is there anyone from You People? Can you go from, if you go back to Eddie Murphy?
Is Jay Ellis in You People?
No,
No,
but
but
can
she's
you get
thinking
from
from
You
the-
People to Top Gun? Is there a through line?
I think, like, you want to get to Top Gun, right?
Trying to get to Top Gun.
So you want to get to Tom Cruise. But using Tom Cruise, you can get to what movie is he in with a black person?
Well, I was trying
Or
to get to...
Julie Louis-Dreyfus?
Okay, Julie Louis-Dreyfus.
I was trying to get to Collateral
That's what I was thinking, Jamie Foxx.
with Jamie Foxx.
And you were there with Samuel L. Jackson.
No.
Okay.
No. Derville Martin is in Hell Up in Harlem with Fred Williamson.
Yes.
How do you know all this?
Fred Williamson is in Through the Hard Way with Jim Brown.
Okay.
Jim Brown is in Any Given Sunday.
Oh, Any Given Sunday with Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx, who's in Collateral with Tom Cruise, who's in Top Gun Maverick with Jay Ellis.
Wow.
Very good.
There you go.
Very good, Vincent. Very good.
All
That's
right.
amazing.
Oh, amazing is a very strong word.
I mean, that was amazing.
But you
I
were
stick by it.
You were there with Samuel L. Jackson, because Samuel Jackson was in not BoJack Horseman, Django Unchained with Jamie Foxx,
Right, he sure
and then you get to
was.
Collateral.
Yeah,
Tom
that's
Cruise.
true.
So when you said that, that's where I thought you were going.
That's right. I'd forgotten about Django.
That's your favorite movie.
And the D silent. That's what got me. Who's next? Who you got?
Speaking of D's.
Jay Ellis is a good one now. Go ahead.
Speaking of D's, in 6 films or less, connect Derville Martin to
Two.
Dominique Fishback.
Ooh. She's incredible.
I love her.
Yeah, I was not familiar with her before Swarm.
Oh, yes, you are.
She was in Random
Yes.
Acts of Flyness, season 1.
Well, movies.
Oh.
Yes, you are. You're not thinking of the movie. There's a movie that I know you've seen, that I know you
With
love.
Dominique Fishback?
Yes. I know you've seen. Let's put it this way. I'm pretty sure you've seen it. I think we've reviewed it, so I'm pretty sure you've seen it.
Okay, how have we reviewed the movie she's in? She's like 20.
Ooh, actually,
She just looks 20.
She looks.
I got fooled by the black not cracking. What movie was she in that I would know?
I don't want to give it away. I guess I gotta give it away. Judas and the Black Messiah.
We did not review Judas and the Black Messiah.
But I thought you had seen it.
I actually didn't see it.
Oh, wow.
Oh wow, she's missing a good one.
I can get to Judas and the Black Messiah though.
Well, yeah, sure. Now that I gave it to you.
Yeah, I didn't know what else is she in?
She was in. Well, she's in the new Transformers movie.
Well, you know I wasn't going to see that.
Yes, I know. But she's also in. Speaking of Jamie Foxx, what was that movie on Netflix? Powerless or Powers?
Oh, I never saw that.
She's good in that too.
All right, we'll do Judas and the Black Messiah. So that's what, Daniel Kaluuya and Lakeith Stanfield? Mm-hmm. All right, so...
I love black people. We made it Stansfield. Like you said.
Because what? That's his name. That's Stanfield. He's a Stansfield boy. All right. Derville Martin is in... Oh, okay, here you go. Derville Martin, and I'll go the way I was going to go originally. Or sort of that path. Derville Martin is in... The Final Come Down with Billy D. Williams. Billy D. Williams is in Lady Sings the Blues with Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor is in Which Way Is Up with Margaret Avery. Margaret Avery is in The Color Purple with Danny Glover. Danny Glover is in Sorry to Bother You with Lakeith Stanfield, who apparently...
I think you win it.
No, that's 5.
Okay, all right.
And then the 6th is she's in Judas and the Black Messiah.
There you go.
With Dominique Fishback.
There you go, Mitzi.
There you go.
Excellent.
Thank you. Thank you. So
Well
there you
done.
go.
Well done.
I was hoping that you would pick Issa Rae so that I could bring up Regina Hall and use an original cast. Like, I was hoping I could use an original cast member.
That would have been too easy.
I know.
That would have been too easy.
Issa Rae's not that easy. She hasn't been in a lot of movies.
True, but also Issa Rae, I think, and it probably is unfair to her, but I think that if you were to cast the movie right now, they might say she might be a little too old or too well known for a redo of it.
That's interesting that you
Too
would
well
say
known.
she was too well known.
Nia Long was well known.
She was, but when actually listening back to like when we reviewed it before, I was surprised that the Best Man was one of her first starring vehicles.
Yeah, I was about
Was
to
it
say.
before Love Jones?
No, it's 2 years after Love Jones.
Right, I mean-
Yeah, but like it's still one of her first ones. It's kind of like in like her coming out phase. It's like a leading woman to me.
It is kind of, and not to bleed into the review, but it is kind of interesting how the Best Man made some of these people black icons.
Yeah,
Like you guys, it's like sort of before Best Man, after Best Man.
Yeah.
And Nia Long is an interest because
I would say
in Love Jones she
made her
was
an
all,
icon.
and
Yeah.
that's after The Fresh Prince.
And the film where she was Whoopi Goldberg's daughter.
okay, but the fact we don't know the name of the movie, I don't know if that one really helps on the icon status.
Whoopi Goldberg's daughter.
Yeah, it was called like American something, and she was
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Oh, it's also after Boys in the Hood.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nia Long's already royalty
Well,
by
okay.
the Best Man.
it's interesting.
From Boys in the Hood, she's royalty.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
it's
after
interesting
The
you
Fresh
say that
Prince,
because
she's
I think
royalty.
that going into this movie, I think probably the royalty of this movie is probably Nia Long and Morris Chestnut.
Yes.
Yes,
Would you say?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't know if I've told you all. My mother and I recast things. This is weekly.
I remember you saying that.
And it would be fun to totally think about. I want to do this exercise.
Like
but
who-
maybe at the end of
Maybe
our
at the
review.
end, yeah.
Who is the new Best Man?
Oh, please.
I would fail, though, because I don't know anybody's name. But
Okay.
I'd be like, that girl
That girl.
that's in that thing.
That girl with the stage
one that
field
had on
boy.
that shirt. He had on that shirt.
But Issa Rae is a good one. I think Issa would be a good... I also think Hollywood is even less risky than they were then. And so they would really want to make sure that they have someone bankable. So I think having newbies is less possible now. Like, I feel like now
Yeah.
you have to have somebody that is going to be good on Netflix,
Okay. All right. Fair
And
enough.
so I think Issa Rae would actually be primo.
And she'd love to do it. Like, this seems like something.
And we
that-
need some dark-skinned sisters because the first round...
Oh, boy.
Well, let's get into our review. Of The Best Man from 1999. Just before his best friend's wedding, the life of a Chicago writer becomes crazy when his best friend guesses that his new book's story is based on his bride's fervent past. The Best Man stars, as mentioned, Nia Long, Morris Chestnut, Taye Diggs, Harold Perrineau, Terrence Howard, Sanaa Lathan, Monica Calhoun, and Melissa D'Souza, and features Regina Hall.
No, that's her coming out.
Yeah.
That's definitely her coming out.
How they hit the lottery with that.
Regina Hall is the best.
The absolute best.
Absolute best. In this film that was written and directed by Malcolm D. Lee, produced by Spike Lee, and was Maori's request.
Was it?
Yes. Yes. Can we do the Best Man, Len? Certainly. For her fourth stop here on the Micheaux mission, Maori, what say you of The Best Man?
You know, it's interesting. I loved the film when it came out, and I watched it again recently when the Peacock series.
The final chapter.
The final chapters came out. So then I sat actually with my mother, because it was over Christmas, watched The Best Man 1, Best Man Holiday, and then watched the final chapters, and we watched them all together. And so it was really interesting to kind of like put all the stories in one place. But I gotta say, The Best Man did not age well.
Interesting.
Politically.
Politically, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
There were things that now I would cringe at that I remember just thinking were funny or, you know, whatever. And it was fascinating. And, you know, I'm sure watching lots of things, they don't age well, but it was just fascinating the kind of misogyny that was in all of them. It was just some of the like jokes and things that I was just like, we wouldn't do anymore. What did age well, though, was Terrence Howard.
That's true.
That is his best role. I will stand by it.
I will agree with that as well.
Yeah.
And that actually tracks throughout the universe
Yeah.
of The Best Man
Yeah.
properties.
Yeah.
It in a way makes sense, one, because of the times, the kind of like the blatant but quote unquote forgiven misogyny that is on view in this film.
Yeah.
Because Malcolm Lee has said that, you know, his mission was to write a romantic comedy from the male point of view.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it kind of makes sense that a lot of that is like up front and center.
Yeah.
For you to kind of like get a peek behind the veil of like how the guys are talking.
Yeah.
Actually, so.
And they're relatively young men.
No. I mean, I'm not dissing them. These are men that I would have been dating, but it was just like watching it now and hearing the conversations and thinking about the, you know, the dancers and, you know, just the way that they're being referred to. Like, just, we have hopefully all changed. I definitely have changed in terms of like my relationship to respectability and so it was just fascinating. But it was not a knock on the film. It's still really...
Still really came away like enjoying the movie,
Yeah.
enjoying the performances and
Yeah.
what have you. Yeah, I watched it and watched it again this weekend when I actually sat with the universe and watched it in total. And I found myself watching it and okay, yes, I fell in love with Nia Long all over again. I'll be perfectly honest, I did. Because she was in her Nia Longest.
Yeah, this is...
But I also found myself like, whereas at one time I felt I maybe identified with a couple of the guys there. I found myself looking at them and seeing a little bit more caricatures, except in, like you said, the Terrence Howard character. He feels like the most fully formed character there, because everybody else is kind of like playing like almost like a stereotypical role a little bit. Harold Perrineau's the best friend, good guy.
Yeah.
And, you know. Morris Chestnut's the jock, and Harper Taye Diggs is, you know, the writer, kind of smart guy. Of course, he is also AKA. What is your description for Harper?
Oh, he's the worst person to ever exist in fiction or nonfiction in recorded history.
The worst. Worse than Rami, worse than like.
I don't like to speak in hyperbole, but ever since we've been keeping records as a species, Harper is the worst person in human record.
Okay, all right.
And where I don't know if I ever saw it, like, I certainly didn't see it the first time, but then I saw the movie. And the first time we reviewed it, I hadn't heard your take yet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I didn't see it that way. But now watching it, I'm like, oh, this guy is he's a total asshole.
Yeah.
The very first scene, he's an asshole with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. This one thing about him, he's consistent.
Yeah.
Like through the Best Man holiday, through the decade they cover in the Best Man, the final chapters, like Harper is just terrible.
Yeah.
But I think it's a testament to Taye Diggs. How charming Taye Diggs is. I think what I enjoy about the Best Man is this real kind of time capsule.
Yeah.
Where you see these actors at this moment where they're so young.
Mm-hmm.
And we say it on here all the time. There are some people you understand why they became stars. Like immediately. And you know, besides Terrence Howard, who I think is fantastic, you know, just to echo you two, I think his actual performance is fantastic.
Yeah.
Nobody in here is doing like classic work. But I think actor by actor, they all have this it factor.
It was the Destiny's Child of films.
Yeah.
Everyone
it
was a
really,
lead.
like you can,
Every single person is a lead.
yeah, and
Yeah.
you see it from the very beginning.
Yeah.
I think the respectability politics, like you said, kind of bleeds off, and it's a little cringy.
It gets really bad in the current season. It's actually worse.
Oh my
The
God.
final decade.
The final chapters is a whole mess.
But sorry, I digress.
No. I do always say that this is. I always felt like this is part of that crop of films that was sort of almost. People saw it as counter programming, like with all the hood films and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And you know, and it's like every Negro in this film is bending over backwards to let you know we're not like them.
Right.
We have credit cards. We know about brunch.
Yes.
I've been to law school.
Now we know about
Right, like everyone is very
Yes.
sort of
Everybody's got their resume on
right.
there.
Everybody, you know, like they all know how to use a salad fork, like you know, and I think that's just part of the time.
Yeah.
But
But at that moment, this is the template for everything that follows. Like I don't think they got it 100% correct, perfect, but they got it better than everybody else because everybody else is just trying to rip them off.
right,
Yeah.
right,
You know?
exactly.
Rip off that script, rip off the chemistry
Yeah.
Right.
of this, because that. Yes, you see the stardom popping off of them, but the chemistry that they exude actually works in this film. And
Except between Taye Diggs and Sanaa Lathan.
except
It's never there.
Thank the Lord, it's not there at all. Because when
Between my favorite things, Scate and Sanaa.
It's 2023.
Yeah.
I don't think it was ever there.
No.
In any of the projects.
No.
I know,
No.
I know, because I actually watch chapters again before watching the film. I watched this film today, and watching, I was like, "Hey, they just
Why are they together?
why are they together?"
Yeah.
I mean, why is she looking down at this little man?
The Negro proposes to her 45 seconds after Jordan says,
No.
this isn't happening.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I guess I'll propose at my best friend's wedding reception and take some of the spotlight off of the bride and groom. I said, this motherfucker.
Because that's what best men do.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, he's so horrible.
He is horrible. He is horrible from. But that's the thing. Like, the one thing I will say is that I don't understand why he is the best man, because it is clear. It is clear, first of all, that everyone's best friend is Quentin. So despite whatever Harper and Lance say they have got going, Quentin's everybody's best friend. Quentin's the one who is 100 with everybody.
Right.
He is the one, like, he jokes at merch, but he still keeps merch like this.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
you know, he's the one who could tell Lance and Harper about themselves. So the fact that Lance and Harper are best men, I think it's just a dark skin thing. I don't think it has anything to do with actually being best friends.
Lance thinks this is the man who introduced me to the woman I want to spend the rest of my life with.
Good point.
Like,
Okay.
like he's the conduit that I got to her. I trust him. I love him. He is my brother.
Yeah. And
You know.
he's, Tootsie Roll like me.
Thank you. And then there's that.
Yeah, because they ain't gonna trust no light bright named Quentin. So, back in 1999.
Back in 1999.
You know, young
sure.
bull coming out of college.
Right.
You don't know that. So,
Just kidding.
So that's the one thing that like hit on me. Like, I don't understand like why anybody is friends with Harper.
Yeah.
Because it's Tay Diggs and he's super charming.
Is he though?
He is.
Oh, he is.
He's exceptionally
I was
charming.
about to say, you cannot take that away from Tay
fair
Diggs.
enough.
From Scotty. You cannot. This was my favorite fun fact when I found out that was his name.
His name is
His name is Scott.
Tay.
And Tay is from his family calling him Scotty.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm never calling him Tay again. I'm calling him Scott.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. The other thing that I did notice watching this movie again, and again, I understand that this is because of the nature of the film, is as much as they want to build up the ensemble, and the ensemble is definitely what is in place in Holiday in the final chapters, this film is first and foremost about the guys, and then the women are just like afterthoughts.
Yeah.
Very like their whole stories.
They're
are pretty
unformed.
Much, yeah, like even like as much as we keep up for Nia Long, she basically is a chess piece in this movie.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
And never mind your girl Monica Calhoun.
Or
Yeah.
Monica Calhoun.
Yeah.
She's like the dude in The Hangover.
Right.
It's like you don't see her for most of this one. She dies in the second. I'm like, damn, Monica, your agent is garbage. Oh, I love Monica Calhoun so much. She
Yeah.
just does not get her
No,
due.
none of them are formed. I mean, that is really true. And it's really, I think that's the thing that I'm like looking at it with. And I
Yeah.
didn't know the piece about it being a rom-com from a male point of view. Like I just thought of it as like a black rom-com. So
Right.
I was not looking at it like that. So I think watching it and realizing how little agency the women have, or like how little depth they have, and some of just the maneuvering between all of them, it just was gross.
But that didn't hit you when you first saw it.
No, I mean in 1999 I was 21.
Okay, so you just get lost in it.
Yeah, I just thought it was, funny and charming, and yeah, even with the second one I don't think I thought that either. I thought it was so nostalgic, you know. And then it wasn't until watching it again this year that I had these thoughts.
In a lot of ways, doesn't that kind of mirror the experience of the movies? So, like as you get older,
Right.
Like
That's true.
I think
Or music.
right, any of it.
Yeah.
I said it a few minutes ago. I think what rang true about these characters is that they did strike me as how young,
Yeah.
I'm a young professional in 1999.
Yeah.
And that's how people kind of carried themselves.
Yeah,
and
I'm sure I
kinda
cringed at myself.
Right, and then you get a little older, and it's not as bad. And then by the time you get to the best man, the final chapter, people are halfway having an existential crisis.
Yeah.
What does it all mean?
I was listening to our review that we did before, and our guest at the time, Tia Whitfield, of I think she's got a company now, Sunkissed Media. She was mentioning that because you were talking about Harper.
Yes.
You were going on about Harper.
Yes.
But she was actually mentioning, I wonder what you think about this, Maori, that she thinks, Harper notwithstanding, the other shady person in the movie is actually Mia. She saw Mia as like the shadiest person in this because Mia knows about Lance and all the women that he's dealing with, right? And knowing about all of that, she just, like, I ain't got no time to go messing around with like this dude. I'm just gonna go bam right to your heart, and me and Harper gonna get it on, right? And then I'm always gonna have that in the chamber.
But do you feel like she sought Harper out, or was it an outgrowth of their closeness, right? Like, because isn't the story that they, like, Harper liked her first and then, like...
I don't think they ever
Harper,
pointed that he liked her like that.
I feel like there was, like, something they made up in the third chapter that there was, like, maybe something there.
Well, just in this movie.
Yeah, sorry. Let's just do it.
And Harper is an unreliable narrator.
Right.
But going by the book, she sought him out.
Right.
Yes.
Because
of Lance's.
Because of the relationship with Lance.
But does that make her shady or does that make her wounded? Because hurt people, right? So is that her reaching out, like, if I don't have any agency in this narrative, and my tool as this person's chess piece, the way to get back at him is this.
And
does that make her
correctly,
a villain?
I'm going to die with this secret. Like, hopefully some dumbass is going to write a novel about it.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to, go to my grave with this secret.
I don't know if it makes her a villain. She's definitely not the, like, pious person that Lance needs her to be.
I think it complicates her.
I think it complicates.
Yeah, it makes her interesting to me.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, and I don't think Tia's viewpoint that it villainized her in any way, but just like she was a lot more complex than the movie trying to make her out to be.
Well, because the thing about it is that we are all capable of darkness, right?
Yes.
No one is pure light. And so I think we have to embrace that we all have that in us. So even this concept of villain is sort of like people become villains. And so, I'm not trying to like do the Joker or anything right now, but it's sort of like, I don't even know if Taye Diggs' character is a villain, you know?
When we meet him, though.
Right, no.
He's pretty consistent.
He does pretty bad things.
Yeah.
There's good people on both sides.
Consistently.
Yeah, I would say he's a villain.
Okay.
I would say we're not getting into the rest of the universe, which would certainly go there.
Yeah.
But he's pretty.
Well, what I think is fascinating, and I don't know, I don't know Malcolm Lee, but I wonder if in between the time of The Best Man and The Best Man Holiday, Malcolm Lee kind of saw people talking or just looked at it himself, where they kind of lean into it.
Yeah.
Where Harper becomes progressively worse with each project.
Yeah.
I mean, is that true?
It's true.
No, he does. I don't know whether or not he leans into it. There's a part of me that wants to think that he's just. I'm trying to be kind, but I think he's just kind of like repeating some of the same kind of bits, just trying to find other ways to just say the same things over and over again. Because, like, especially by the time you get to final chapters, which unfortunately has 8 hours to fill. And he is like, he's just,
now Murch is an MMA fighter. It's like, wow, I feel like we've lost the thread a little bit.
There are threads that are lost.
It's like, what? Never would have called this in 1999.
No, there's a whole lot of threads that are lost by the time you get to the final chapters.
Yeah.
The shame of it, the only shame of it really is of this movie is that Regina Hall doesn't show up till like the last 20 minutes of the movie. In
the First Best Man.
In the First Best Man. In the First Best Man. And even then, she's not given much to do.
Yeah.
But
well, she was completely unknown.
Yeah.
I know. I know.
Because what had she done before this? I had never seen her before.
I think this is her introduction.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she popped. She popped
She really
immediately
does.
off the screen.
Right?
Yeah.
He like stumbles into this extra piece.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It steals the show. The other person I was trying to look at, because listening to our review, you were saying that you had a soft spot for Monica Calhoun.
I do.
I still don't see it, but God bless you. But
Don't do that.
No, it's just it's like I don't. It's like she's not given so much to do in this film. Like, you know, okay, I don't see what is making her this special thing. But I was also looking to see Melissa D'Souza, and because you mentioned about how she has always kind of played like the lead's best friend's girlfriend
Right.
in a lot of roles.
Right.
And looking at her filmography, that's kind of like where she unfortunately gets stuck there.
Lost.
She's always kind of stank and kind of,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know, I think I see a little like there's more there. Just trying to take the best man on its own and not forgetting what happens in the chapters. And I think, okay, I think there's a little bit more there, but she definitely is played as like, you know, the comic relief a lot of times.
Yeah.
In this role.
Well, right. I mean, and Nia Long is the trope of the successful one
Right.
without a man. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
They're all taking on these tropes.
Yeah. But I definitely see the inkling for more there, and you know, they try to explore it in the chapters. So that we can get to the chapters, because I just so want to go there.
I mean, are you going to skip right over Holiday? So I think Holiday is super important in the best man mythos.
Okay, no, and we can go Holiday.
The best man universe.
Yes.
We can go Holiday, but I want to tie a little bit of a bow on this film. The film we're actually here to
Yes,
technically review.
absolutely.
The Best Man.
Look. How have you not seen The Best Man? Of course you're going to go see The Best Man. Everybody needs to see The Best Man.
Okay, but would you still recommend the Best Man?
100%.
It's definitely it's a capsule in time.
It's foundational to black film and black culture. Like, you got to know The Best Man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look, I gotta ask the question. You're the one for structure.
I
gotta ask the question.
Yeah, but I mean, it's The Best Man. I felt like, you know, I felt like part of the reason Maori chose it, because, you know, we just talk, right?
Yeah.
Like, we all know about The Best Man. Like, she didn't pick some obscure Caribbean film that they only showed at the Schomburg in 1972, which is what I wanted you to do.
No.
I said, Maori is going to bring it.
You don't know how he's not lying. He's not lying. Yo, Maori's gonna be on the show. Okay, what's she doing?
I was like, well, yeah, just let her pick. Maori pick something.
She picked the Best Man.
Oh,
Because I feel like that's fun.
I'm not here to have fun with you.
he always want to do some work.
Right. Maori's supposed to come in here and they put this together with field songs from Memphis in 1925. And Terrence Nance put it together and did the ukulele music. And I'm like, wow, go on, Maori, talk that talk.
Yeah, all right.
So,
You don't
I'm
know.
sorry.
Next
that's the
time.
point. Next time.
next time.
Next time, I'll give you an obscure Caribbean art film.
Right, from like 1985. 86.
Yeah.
That they found in like a suitcase in a warehouse.
Well, it only shows in 16.
Only.
Next time she's gonna come in with roll bounce.
Tonight we'll be discussing roll bounce and the various ways that they hid that Megan Good was 3 feet taller than Little Bow Wow. You'll notice in the first scene, he's always wearing roller skates.
He's constantly moving.
In this scene, Megan Good is actually on her knees. You ever notice that in Roll Bounce? Like, do you ever notice that?
I've never seen it.
Oh my goodness, you've never seen Roll? It's not bad.
Yeah, okay.
But they do all these tricks.
But don't choose it.
Yeah, don't choose it. Don't choose it. No, don't choose it. Field songs
Yes.
found in a warehouse in New
We're
Jersey.
gonna do Diary of an African Nun. That's what we're gonna, you know.
All right. But yeah, go ahead.
Would you recommend people still see the Best Man?
I would, yeah. I mean, I think to your point, one, it is the launch of all of these actors.
Yeah.
So if nothing else, to see them at this point of their career, I wouldn't necessarily recommend the other two. they're not necessary. But I think The Best Man is part of a moment in cinematic history with these kinds of films. It ends the chapter of that starts. I mean, really, if you want to do like a historical arc, it's like you start with Nia Long and Morris Chestnut in Boys in the Hood, and you end with them in The Best Man. That really cements that moment of 90s indie film. Right, like those years between 91 and 99, that's the end. The Best Man puts a bow on it.
Right.
And if for younger people, I think, who maybe haven't seen it, it's like to look at that and then look at Insecure in a different light. To then look at, Run the World or, any of these other sort of newer takes on the sort of black bougie rom-com. I think to see their forebears would be fascinating.
Yeah.
Also, the other thing we didn't say about the new series is they all still look amazing.
Oh my God.
Oh.
What a blessing they were all alive. And they all still look incredible. Some of them better.
I say it all the time. The biggest flex, and I don't know if it was in Holiday or in the chapters, where they did the age progression, which with each actor.
Oh, I missed
and
that.
I think that's chapter.
Is that in the chapter where they show them from Best Man and all of them?
Yeah.
I was like, boy, these black folk, they doing it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think Taye Diggs and Morris Chestnut look better
They
now.
do look better, especially. They do.
You good?
I had this in a
You
moment.
You alright over there?
Morris Chestnut in the chapters when he's grieving his wife and he has all the, company.
Oh, not at the swimming pool when he's about to get into the swimming pool.
No. When they open that door and he's.
Hey,
I always think that's because he has that robe on, and I always feel like that was Malcolm Lee saying he gave the brothers Nia Long in the robe in The Best Man, and then it's like a tit for tat thing going on.
That's a good one.
Oh well, he gives him plenty of Morris. Because that I'm thinking of when he goes to the pool and he like totally goes sans robe and anything else before he dives into the pool.
I feel like he eats a lot of lean meat, like vegetables. Probably more cardio than lifting. Like he wants to don't want to be.
Well, that's true. Now I never felt my age anymore than there's a scene in the chapters where him and Taye Diggs come into the house and they seemingly have just played basketball, right? I say seemingly because they look like they just got out of the roles, but okay, they said they just played basketball, and they're easily like the movie makes the series makes no doubt. Doesn't hide that all of these people are like in their late 40s, early 50s. They sit down in the kitchen after playing basketball and they're still breathing. That's a lie. Because I am over 50. I've played basketball. There's no breathing after you play basketball when you're over 50. There is only resuscitation.
Right.
That is it.
I feel like Morris Chestnut probably has
It's not even fair.
Probably doing like Tabo. He's probably doing a lot of Tabo.
And Scate, if you watch it on Instagram, he's very fit.
He's also doing this
dancing.
Dancing, probably swims.
Yeah.
Probably a swimmer.
Pilates. Broadway
some
guy.
Pilates. Right. It's
Yeah.
easier on the joints.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay. So let's go to a Holiday because Holiday is, whew.
Well, you know what
It's
fascinates
a
me about
change
Holiday?
of pace.
It's a completely different tone.
Yeah.
It's a totally different.
Where again, I think I always forget how frothy Best Man is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Best Man doesn't get really messy until the fight.
And even with the fight, it's almost played not for laughs, but like it's like
It's not played like
it's not
like
right. It's
danger.
almost farce. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Best Man Holiday is like.
Yeah, and just to give people the 411, Best Man Holiday, which came out in 2013, when college friends reunite after 15 years over the Christmas holidays, they discover just how easy it is for long-forgotten rivalries and romances to be ignited. And this is the film that where now Regina Hall is really made a member of the cast because she's married to Murch. They're 15 years in, they have the kids.
Yeah.
It kind of deals with a little bit of reconciling of her past as a stripper. That's played up for laughs if you want to. That's a cringy moment for me.
I was about to say, I don't know how much that's played for laughs.
Yeah.
It is kind of icky.
Well, I think there's some laughter about how like this video of her gets out at a bachelor party, and like there's laughter about how the video is kind of like passed around.
Right.
Like I think they're mining that moment for laughs because in the zeitgeist at that time is very much about like sex tapes being freely distributed all over the place. But it is very cringy the way that all plays out in that film. And it gives the film a very, like you said, frothy is like what you would bestow upon the best man. And considering that this is called the Best Man Holiday, you would think there would be some froth here.
Well, there is froth when they do the new edition scene.
That's one scene. I mean, okay, and that's the scene that they play all the time.
And is, what's her name, Coffin, butt in?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's in the back, like,
Coffin
up with
that robe on.
Consumption. She got consumption. on that.
I actually sat in the theater. I said, I know they not about to kill Monica Calhoun.
Dude, you know when the second somebody coughs.
I know. Well, she looked all frail, and then they said it on screen.
Yeah.
Like, what was it? Why does she look so frail?
Yeah.
I said, Lord, they about to kill Monica Calhoun.
Well, you could tell when she opened that door, you know.
That's true.
Oh, when you like go back and watch, and then you're like, oh.
The signs were there.
Yeah,
It was all there.
Yeah.
But yeah, this film just has a very off-kilter tone to it, man. I found myself watching this movie and just like, ooh, I am not enjoying myself at all.
Yeah.
I really like Morris Chestnut in The Best Man Holiday.
Still.
Yeah, I think he does. You know, I never thought Morris Chestnut was the best actor back in the day.
I mean, he's pretty.
But I think he's growing into it the older he gets. And I really like I liked him in Best Man Holiday. I did. His acting, his performance.
I didn't think much of him in The Best Man Holiday.
He's satisfactory.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta take the gentleman see.
My ex-husband would say pleasant.
He was pleasant.
He's pleasant.
He's pleasant.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're a little older.
Yeah.
And I do think as you get older, things aren't as frothy.
Okay, yes,
I
life
don't know
can.
about that.
I mean, not all the time.
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Well, no, I mean, I'm not gonna veer us off, but I mean, in terms of a film, you can make a film frothy with older people.
Oh, yeah, but, you know, not these people, because you know when they were young.
Okay.
Like, I feel like if you have older people frothy, you got to start with them old.
No, I don't agree with that. No, I think this film could have been a little bit. It could have been a hell of a lot lighter.
Yeah, definitely lighter.
than it was.
Hey, y'all, I feel better.
I understand. I think I get what you're saying in that, like, you know, life gets more complicated as you get older. So yeah, there's that. But I think the way that this film handles it is not very. And it also felt like the writing in this one wasn't as sharp. It felt like things just kind of happened because the plot said it had to happen, as opposed to like just there's more of a natural feel. I said it in our review. I thought that the Best Man Holiday was a cash grab. It was just an opportunity. By then, while all of them are kind of like, or most of them are like stars, you know, some of them have maybe lost a little bit of their sheen, you know, maybe not getting the roles that they always going for. They're getting a little older, longer in the tooth as far as like, you know, the zeitgeist of the time. And you kind of like fall back on where people know you best. And I felt like there was a lot of that on. And now, because of, you know, it's not just the four guys. Now, Nia Long, Sanaa Lathan, Regina Hall, they've all got, you know, the
gotta
same
have their
gravitas.
own- yeah.
And all of the women probably got more gravitas in their careers than Harold Perrineau
At that time, right. I think
that time.
Sanaa was probably the biggest at that in 2013.
Yeah. So, so now you've definitely got to...
Although Harold Perrineau was on Oz.
He was on Oz, but I don't think like...
No one knows his name.
Yeah, like he's like
He's
that guy you
like,
know.
right? You recognize that guy.
He's what's his name? Durrell.
He's Derville Martin. He's kind of a Derville Martin.
He's Derville Martin.
Like Derville.
Don't do that to him.
I was about
I
to
didn't
say.
mean it in a bad way.
he's not
I just want the
Derville.
brother works.
Yeah.
If you've seen Derville, that would be a bad.
Oh, okay.
Brother does work though.
He does work. Like so, but now because of that, now you've got to give them something to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Or at least make them at least more prominent in the
Yeah.
script.
Sure.
And now that bloats the script a little bit, and I just think it loses their way trying to find everybody, and that's why they got to knock off one of the women.
Don't. I mean, no, I mean, she's barely in the first one.
Well, all the more reason.
Do you have any particular memories of Holiday?
I mean, we've discussed the coughing of blood and the audition dance sequence, and I'm trying to remember. I mean, I think one thing I appreciated about it was having them all in that house. I think they were all at Monica and Lance.
Yes.
What was Monica's character's name? Mia.
Mia.
At Mia and Lance's house, and I just remember, like, for me, thinking about, oh, this is so lovely. You know, that they had money to do that. But I'm trying to remember any other moments. It's definitely my least favorite of the three, so I don't think so. Yeah.
You know one detail I did like? They established that Mia and what was Melissa D'Souza's character's name?
That is Shelby.
That Mia and Shelby were line sisters.
Yeah, but
Which explained
why Shelby is
she
there.
was such.
They had to make the the connection of her really in the group, because that's the other thing. Going back to The Best Man, you never believe her and Murch as a couple,
Right.
And that's not just a chemistry point of view. Just the characters don't make any sense,
Right.
So
She would never be with a guy like that.
No.
Not publicly. Yeah.
I was about to say, I didn't want to say, I was like, actually, I did kind of believe that. Like,
You did.
you've never known a couple like that?
I don't think so.
Like she just sort of runs him?
Oh, I've definitely known women who run men, but
No, but like that though,
like a glam bot with like a total.
She wanted him to take the job. He's going to pass the bar and be a big time lawyer, and she's going to build herself. Like, I love that she was going into reality television.
Yeah.
Because you could tell she was kind of constructing. She wanted him to be her build-a-bot.
Yeah.
Okay.
He wanted to help them poor children.
All right. I didn't. So there we have the holiday.
The holiday.
Less said about that.
The lesson.
Which now brings us to The Best Man, the final chapters.
Yeah.
As I like to say, oh, what a mess.
Well, it felt like they had started making a film, and then something happened, because those first 2 episodes
Clearly,
feel like
right,
this was a film.
Yes.
And then we come off the island, literally,
Yeah.
to this. It looked like it was Best Man Island.
Yes. Right? It looked like
they
Best
were
Man
like-
Vacation.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then they decided they had to make a series because they have nothing tonally to do with one another.
No.
The whole plot of Lance getting married almost makes no sense. I mean, all of it is just, yeah. It was a very strange mashup.
I mean, Quentin getting married.
Quentin, sorry.
Quentin
yeah.
getting married. Even though I will say I did like, and I just drew a
Was
blank
it
on
Nicole Ari Parker?
Yes, Nicole Ari Parker.
Oh, she was fantastic.
I mean, she's always fantastic.
She's always, yeah.
Yeah, I did like
Yeah.
her having the most fun.
Yeah.
In that.
And you could tell in the back of her head, she was like, if the wind had blown a different way, I would have been in this movie. I would have been in The Best Man.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I'm showing y'all what
Yeah.
you could have had.
How about that?
Yeah.
How about that? Yeah.
Yeah, but she's fantastic.
Yeah. she's
Yeah,
excellent.
I liked her in it. You're right. The first 2 episodes are clearly a movie.
Yeah.
But even then, as a movie, there's parts of it like it's repeating kind of like the same kind of beats because now Tay Diggs doesn't know how to just tell people like I'm making a movie. I'm like, just make it a freaking movie, man.
Right.
I almost blurted out an N-word. The truth is not in this Negro.
I know.
He refuses. If If Harper tells you it's sunny outside, you better go look out the window.
Yeah.
He is the lioness, shadiest dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they exist. I have
Just
dated them.
lie about, like, why do you lie
They
all
are my
the
father.
time?
I'm sorry. What is true?
Like, this dude lies about everything.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Like, the two of them getting a divorce, I actually said, yeah. that works.
But even her storyline, so you go to the island and now I was like, what is happening? It looked like she was about to make out with the lady and she's like, there was just so much mess in this
Wait a
one.
minute. So you're talking about Sanaa Lathan's character,
Yes,
Robin.
yes.
When she meets the chef.
Yes. That scene was, the way it was directed, it looked like they were about to be together.
Yeah. it
Really?
did.
Yes.
I thought so too.
I did not think that.
And then just her whole thing, like all of it seemed, I thought Sanaa Lathan's character seemed like a white lady discovering the Caribbean. Like the way she goes
Like,
there.
She discovers like the chef.
She eat, prayed, loved it. She did. She eat, prayed, loved. She did.
That was also, everyone's wigs were terrible. I mean, there's so much wrong. So much wrong. And then poor Nia Long, again, continues to be this high-powered person who's single, and then when she's not, she gets that guy.
You talking about the guy that
I don't even know his name, but like...
that dusty peanut head looking
Yes!
dude?
Yes.
She winds up with.
Yes!
He actually texted me that dusty peanut head.
That is the perfect description.
Cause I was like, this is the dude, like, cause there's the brother on the island who's like, like he's
Right, because I thought maybe he was going to turn into something.
he was a little charming, I was waiting for him to show up later in the season.
Yeah.
He doesn't, but this dusty brother from college, Demetrius, and his name is Demetrius.
And then I kept thinking, did I miss a reference to him?
Right,
No,
right.
it's something else.
They said it like he's always
Right, they
been
said it
around,
right, right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There were some holes. I mean, and then like so much. I mean, I really appreciated that it felt like every episode was also trying to be an after school special. So it was like, we're going to deal with Me Too. Lance now has a non-binary kid. Over here we're going to do...
Non-binary. Isn't that what Quentin called him?
Oh.
Non-binary.
We're going to have a BLM. Like, it was just like every episode had something and it was just too much.
I have to say, as a proud Gen Xer,
Yes.
surrounded by other Gen Xers who varying degrees of dealing with issues of gender.
Yeah.
I found that a little realistic, where they just were fumbling, bumbling. And
No, I wasn't upset with how they
Lance-
treated it. I'm just more like, why did every episode have to be today's issue is,
Right.
Yeah.
No, I thought
I
the
just
way
thought
they...
it was hilarious.
No,
that
and
they
it
just
was sweet
could
that-
not
Yeah.
wrap their heads around.
And it was sweet that Nia Long accepted them as well.
Sure.
So no, that was fine. But I just didn't understand why every episode was like,
We got 8 hours to fill.
I know. That's what it was. Because beats would just be stretched out for so long.
Yeah.
And people would get lost in the sauce.
Merch became an MMA fighter.
He becomes an
Yeah.
MMA fighter after almost tackling a white woman in the streets, man. Like, there's stuff that made any sense. But I want to go back to Robin and the woman on the island.
oh, sorry. Why are we going back to that?
No, only because I didn't read that as them going to be together.
It was,
I did read it definitely as like, all of a sudden she's discovered the Caribbean.
Yeah.
That didn't make any sense to
Even
me.
though you lived in Brooklyn. Go somewhere.
Like, just
By
go outside.
somewhere outside.
Outside, exactly.
We have this wonderful place in Brooklyn called Outside. If you would like to get some Caribbean influence.
Yes. So I feel that, but what I lost at the end of, I want to say the end of that movie, the end of the second episode, Best Man Vacation, is that her, at least whatever she was falling in love with the island, was awakening something in herself, in that she would either want to visit the island. The island was going to play a part in some way.
Yeah.
Sure.
The rest of the and like she starts all over again.
Yeah.
With episode 3, and then like her, like she is one of the characters. Her, again, unfortunately, is the women. Nia Long who I think just really just get lost, and they try to do something with Candace, Regina Hall's character, and
That was too much too.
that was
they
way
don't
too.
really know
They
what to-
they didn't know.
She gets Me Too'd by her professor,
Yeah.
and then she discovers mushrooms. I mean, it was just all like, what is?
Yeah, but she discovers mushrooms, but she discovers mushrooms, then she has like weed. I'm like, they didn't know what to do with her. And the whole Me Too with the professor, the reason why I didn't like that, because the whole time I was appreciating I guess they setting you up for the okie doke.
Yes.
Because you're appreciating this character.
Yeah.
Right? And his turn at that point seems very out of the blue, especially because it seemed like he had an opportunity to go there before.
Well, I mean, I think similar to the way that was realistic, dealing with the non-binary child was realistic. That is what happens.
I
Some
guess
of our
so,
most
yeah.
beloved. I mean, what did we learn today? That David Ajay, beloved architect, has all these sexual harassment
Yeah,
claims against him.
yeah.
So I mean, that is what happens. It is
That's
the
true.
people that you admire the most, often. You know,
Right.
that then you find out have shady dealings, and it's not always, at opportune times, right? It's like it's calculated.
Right. And at that point in the show, I just figured,
You were like, they got another.
I know it's going to be something with this dude.
Yeah. There's just one more thing to
Like
check
he's
off.
secretly her father, or like, so I knew it was going to be
He's a weed dealer or
right,
something.
right. He was going to hit his head and have amnesia. Like I knew it was going to be something funky with him.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true. Go.
I do like that Jordan said to Harper, "I won't be a soft place for you to land." Like I loved that she finally kind of said to him, "Go do something with yourself.
Yeah.
That's not me."
Yeah. Which is also something that happens at a certain age.
Yeah, yeah. But all jokes aside about Harper, I am fascinated by how this character moves through this series, because I do think in the first film you are meant to like him, like he's the protagonist. He's the obviously he's made this mistake, but I think you are meant to like him, and I do think by the time you get to the third one, the writing has kind of embraced that Harper is not cool. Because all of the characters, like by the end, all the characters are basically channeling Quentin in the
Yeah.
first movie.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you are not cool.
Yeah,
So-
that's very true. Very true. I'm looking at the chat. RMJ Movie Reviews writes that he wishes the miniseries would have delved more into Lance's unpredictable behavior from the grief of losing Mia. And I'm assuming he's talking about how he wowed out on the island.
Right, and then he's going to be he's going to go back to football.
Well, I
I thought they did delve into it. I mean, he tries to go back to football.
yeah, recapture his youth.
They definitely address these apparent sex workers or special friends that he has around, and then he finds his salvation in also a Caribbean woman.
Also a Caribbean one.
Yes, the only callback from the first two
From the
episodes.
movie.
right, from the third movie.
Yeah.
Which of all the callbacks, I appreciated that.
Yeah.
If going to call back that. And Sean Simmons mentions that Harper is a dummy for writing the book, but taking it to the next movie, Mia let that relationship fester and waited until she was knocking on death's door to fix it.
I mean, that's not me, it's to fix. Like, she fixed her relationship with Lance.
Right.
That's just between them two.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's a good point. That's a very good point. Going to our top five, and we don't need to go to the music, Dylan. My top five.
We have music.
We do have
Tons of things.
Yeah.
Like a
Professional.
Theme. Yeah. Yes! That's the word.
That's it. That's it. It'll be slipped on the edit. It'll be there, but we don't need it right now. The top five that I've chosen for this week, keeping in theme with the best man, is these are the top five best man wins. So these are the characters that I believe, and we can debate amongst ourselves, come out of this universe
Okay.
with the best story. All right, or at least come out closest to winning.
So, like the best of the best man.
the best of the best man, as opposed to the worst, because we could go there all day. And starting with number 4, which is actually number 4/5, that would be Murch and Candace, Harold Perrineau, and Regina Hall. Like, because to me, I think that their relationship in this series, first of all, I think that as a couple, they maybe have the best chemistry of all of them. And that's a shout out to, 1, just their chemistry, and 2, the acting skills of the
they're both fantastic.
Fantastic actors. And the characters themselves, as they are portrayed, I feel the most authentic.
They seem to have a healthy relationship too.
Yeah.
They seem to be supportive of one another. They seem to be supportive of their kids. You know, like they seem to really be a unit and not perfect.
Right.
You know?
Yes.
Right.
Yes. There was a scene in watching the final chapters where Regina Hall was supposed to take the girls to like some etiquette class, but then she can't because she's got to go make a meeting with the teacher, and she asks Murch to take him, and Murch has other stuff to do, and like he's clapping back about it. It's like I don't have anything to do. Like, you know, how you just gonna expect me to do this? And what she says, she said, okay, I'm going to believe that, you know, you're expressing yourself, you know, because you're upset, but as my husband and my co-parent, did you realize exactly what I'm asking you? So I'm going to give you another shot.
They've clearly been in counseling.
Yes.
They have some tools.
Exactly.
Right.
And they have the conversation, and then she says, okay, please don't be late picking them up. And she gives him a kiss on the way out. Because I am a very strong proponent that no matter how mad we are at each other, we should still be able to at least show each other affection, showing that it ain't that deep.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I loved about the realness of that moment. And it solidified it to me for that.
I agree. They look like couples I know.
Yeah.
Like this looks like a healthy couple that has been together for 2 decades.
Yeah. And I think it's growth out of even the holiday, because in holiday there's a little bit of still like, you know, Murch don't know what to do type of stuff that didn't ring true, considering that was still more than a few years that they had been together. Now 20 years after it, this is the rhythm that they've got, and I loved it. All right, so I'm assuming y'all would agree with that.
Yeah.
Oh, very good. All right. I like when I win. Number 3. This one is the character of Shelby, played by Melissa D'Souza, because, as we mentioned, I think for the first time the actress is given a little bit more to do in this, in the final chapters, of course, more so than any place else, and I think that in doing so, she shows more of her colors, more of a rounded character, but without losing the character. She still is very much, you know, like the reality star type, starlet type of girl, you know, kind of like Me First, All Eyes on Me. But by the end of the series, All Eyes on Me mean all eyes on me and my family. You know, checking for her husband. She was there with her husband as he checked on her father. Right? She had a very real relationship with her daughter, because I've watched mothers with their daughter, and that is 100% authentic. And she was still very present in her friend's life as well. And as much as she was about me, she still acted at the height of her intelligence for the character, and she was still very, very present and there for all of her friends. Like
and self-aware.
Very self-aware, very self-aware. And I thought that, considering where she started in this whole franchise, for her to land here was very surprising.
They probably brought in, if we looked at the credits, they probably brought in some women writers.
You would hope so. You would hope so.
I'm gonna think so.
Yeah.
Let's say they did.
I mean, did Malcolm write and direct both 1 and 2?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then with the television series, I mean, you have to bring in other writers.
room.
Yeah. So.
Most of, and they did mention that there was a woman. I can't bring up a name, but there definitely was a
Was
specific
it
woman.
Tracy Oliver?
No, I think it was. For some reason, I think it was like a Maya
Okay.
name that they brought in who worked extensively on the script and kind of like made sure like the women were more present in this. All right, number two is Quentin Terrence Howard.
Oh yeah.
Because as we mentioned, this is Terrence Howard's best role.
It is, man.
I don't care what anybody says about Empire. This is his best role.
No, it's this, man.
This is this, Joe.
I'm a Hustle and Flow man. Speaking
Hustle
of
and Flow is good, though.
Yeah, Hustle
but
and
he's
Flow is
very good in this.
He is.
He's very good. He's very consistent.
And,
Yeah.
He's 100% consistent. And he is the only one, honestly, the only one in all of these properties who sounds like he's speaking authentically.
Yeah, he sounds very realistic.
Right, he sounds like a real person. Everybody else sounds very staged and,
Huxtable-y.
Right. He sounds 100% real.
But very self-consciously. Again, I really do, I'm going to go back to what I said. I think this is very much a reaction to, quote unquote gangster rap and these kind of movies. But I think that also speaks to his character, because as we find out, and I forgot they reference it in The Best Man, he's a rich kid.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of black people have that, I got to prove that I'm I've been rich, so I can just sort of
B.
play a
Be
guitar
myself,
behind
mate.
my back and yes.
Amen. And number one, and this is, I learned, I didn't believe so, a controversial point.
Okay.
Pick. And that would be Sanaa Lathan's character, Robin. Because I think we've gotten into, I certainly have gotten into other arguments with it. I like where she lands in.
Away from him in Africa?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I know that the discourse that I heard, that some people were angry about, him taking her daughter to Africa away from him. Some would argue the further the better, but I think for the most part he was a good father, though, so I don't know if that's necessarily fair. But I think, to your point, just from the shady way that he proposes to her, first of all, kicks off the movie with her, and then proposes to her at the end of that movie, and then throughout all of these properties, he never ever freaking learns a lesson. It's all lip service with him. It's all lies. It's all just to get through the moment, to get to the other side.
Sometimes it's Jordan.
Yeah, or Jordan. At the time that he tells her about, that she tells him about Africa.
Wait, do they go to a specific country, or they don't say?
It's Ghana.
Okay.
At that moment, that is right after they seemingly had this cathartic moment where he shows up at her, she had some event.
Yeah, that community meeting.
Right, that was going on at the same time as the premiere, and he shows up there, and it's like in that next scene is when she tells him about Ghana, and he still hasn't learned. He's already cringing, he's just had his moment. He could afford to take a summer to go to Ghana with his wife, and he can't call himself to do it. She is in the best spot away from Harper. She is Harper-less. And I think that she has, therefore, is the winner of The Best Man.
I don't know about that.
Discuss.
Only because, her going to Ghana is similar to the Caribbean moment. It still just felt like I've been rescued by the native land. It was just, I don't know. But so cringy.
The Ghana was something that she had sought out and she had got selected for.
None of that felt earned to me in her character. Her participation in the community event, and all of it felt like she was dabbling, which they talk about, right?
They do,
She's
yes.
always dabbling.
From the very first movie, actually. I thought it was interesting.
I know.
Yeah, it's consistent.
But there was just something, I don't know, there was the way, maybe it was the performance or the writing, I don't know, but something in this version made it just gross to me, and I was not here for it. But that was just personally. For the world of the story, and for that character, yes, she wins by being Harperless. But I don't know if I would choose that as my number one moment. I just feel like there's so many. There's got to be a different number one moment.
Well, who's the winner then? If she's not the winner coming out of...
I mean, I might reverse. If she could be spot 5 and put...
Merchant Candy?
Yeah, as the winners.
I don't know if I'd use the words winner and loser, but the thing that I like about the resolution of their relationship is, I mean, let's just be real. Part of the reason that she moves to Ghana, it is vindictive.
Yeah.
Like, that is in there. I actually thought it was really realistic of, you know, how a lot of relationships fall apart.
Yeah.
Like, there is a lot of anger and you know, all jokes aside, I think Harper is a bad person, but that doesn't preclude her doing some bad stuff too. And I thought that the whole Ghana move, it's a lot of venom in there.
Yeah.
And I liked it. Like, just as character development.
Yeah.
To your point, I think from The Best Man through Holiday through this, they have this really, it's an overused word, but they have this really toxic relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you really look at the whole thing, the other thing I wanted to say about The Best Man Holiday and them killing Mia.
Not killing Mia.
Yeah, they killed her.
Well, The Best Man Holiday has this weird energy where it's like the real love story is between Lance and Harper. Like, this is the love story. You know, heterosexual, manly.
Yeah.
But this is the love story. And I was just like, okay, so you kill Mia and take her off the board. But then you have this other relationship that is almost like an afterthought. And then they kind of lean into that, because I do think that they lean into it in the final chapters, where you see this relationship dissolve.
Yeah.
So that's why I like where she lands. I wouldn't call her a winner. No one wins in an ugly divorce. But
Sometimes
Some
do.
people... I can't go with you on that.
But yeah.
All right. Well, there we have
There we
our
have.
look at the Best Man universe.
The Best Man universe.
That was fun.
It was.
I had a good time.
I'm sorry to disappoint you in my choice, but I had fun.
And that's all that counts.
That's all that counts.
That's all we want.
That's
You know.
all that counts. There's an older black lady in Cleveland who used to go to race films in the 40s. And in her attic is just a reel of half of an Oscar Micheaux film. And then some grad student filled in, and they had a showing at the Baltimore Theater, the Senator.
I love this story.
That's what you bring.
Yeah.
It's a,
Okay.
For a whole bounce.
It's ATL. I did see that.
ATL is good.
ATL was good, actually.
I love ATL.
We actually enjoyed that. It was fun. All right.
Yeah.
This has been fun, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to learn more about Maori Holmes, if you want to take part and be at the BlackStar Film Festival, which will be happening here in Philadelphia, August 2nd through the 6th. It is the Black Sundance Festival. It is the best movie festival.
Or Sundance is the white black star.
I like that. I like that. That's, ooh. Mm. We should start that hashtag.
That's right. You need the black nothing.
Yeah.
You black star.
We'll start the hashtag BlackStar. Can't do
You're the
that.
white black star. All right.
They're the white
But
black
yes.
stars. We'll make that so. Dylan, make that so. All right. All right. Go to blackstarfest.org.
Correct.
So where you can get tickets are available now for all of the showings, all of the films. They've moved on up, ladies and gentlemen.
Program guide came out this week. Schedule is live. Merch is available for sale.
The merch is banging. I still rock my BlackStar sweatshirt every year.
Yeah, it's a nice sweatshirt.
It's very nice. It's very nice. We've got to get you a Micheaux sweatshirt. Now I realize it.
Yeah.
You have earned. She has earned merch.
Give me my 4 P's. You know?
She's earned merch. She's definitely earned merch. BlackStarFest.org, ladies and gentlemen. Get your tickets for the Micheaux for the BlackStar Film Festival, and the Micheaux Mission will be there. And we're nailing down the date right now. But we're telling you soon. So stay tuned for that announcement where we will be appearing at the BlackStar Film Festival. All right, and maybe we can coax Maori Holmes to sit in with us. Yeah.
All right, slow down. She got a whole lot to do during the film festival.
I have my own podcast to do during the film.
Oh, I forgot. Yes,
Right.
I forgot. I forgot. She's also going to be on the stage with many
He
lumens.
gets all happy and ooh, Maori, we'll go get some cheesesteaks. Busy.
Well, why don't you hang out with Maori, man?
Just go ahead and
She likes pretzel bites.
wrap it up.
Anyway. Don't you? Say you do. No? Oh. Anyway. Why are you here? So anyway. Before we tell you what we're going to be watching next week, ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to follow the Micheaux Mission on all the social media of your choice at Micheaux Mission. You can subscribe to the Micheaux Mission on YouTube at youtube.com at Micheaux Mission. Join the Facebook group at Micheaux Mission. The Micheaux Mission is also a proud member of The Podglomerate, thepodglomerate.com. They make podcasts work. And we film every Tuesday at 7 p.m. right here at Yunk Junk, here in Manayunk, where you can book yourself time in Philadelphia's premier video podcast palace. Go to videocontentfactory.com and make it so. All right? Next week on the Micheaux Mission, we have another very special live guest who will be joining us from the Be Real Black Cinema Club. Stephanie Watts will be here joining us as we will sit down to review that noir, sexy film that I just learned Maori loves. It's called Jason's Lyric.
The Adventures of the Disappearing Accents.
That's next week here on the Micheaux Mission. Until then, she's Maori, he's Vincent, I'm Len, and in parting we say,
We'll see you when it's time to meet again.